6 boundaries strong men have in relationships. How you doing, mate? How you doing? My name is Oliver. I used to be a people-pleasing, nice guy syndrome type with no boundaries and no self-respect whatsoever. I overcame that, and now on this channel I help other men do the same. And over the course of the past few years, one of the most common issues I run into when I'm working with a guy is that he doesn't actually know what a boundary even is. Now, this is obviously going to be the case because if you are raised in an environment where boundaries are not respected, communicated healthily, you're not introduced to the topic of boundaries and assertive communication, then in adult relationships, you're not going to know what you're doing. So with this video, I wanted to give you 6 common boundaries, 6 healthy boundaries that strong men would have in relationships so you can have an idea as to how to model that behavior. The first one is no gossiping behind each other's backs. That's a strong boundary a strong, confident man has in relationships. But he also embodies this. It's no point asking and expecting that of your girlfriend or your wife in a relationship if you're just going to talk shit behind her back anyway. But it's one strong boundary you have is that you handle conflict with each other. You talk positively about each other behind each other's backs. It's a massive red flag if you notice that you're on a date with a woman and she's talking shit about her boyfriends, her ex-boyfriends, etc., because she'll probably do the same with you. The second boundary is absolutely no name-calling or degrading language of any description. It's not to say that you can't have conflict. It's not to say that you can't have emotionally intense disagreements. That's absolutely fine. And it's also inevitable, really, if you're in an authentic connection with each other. But when you start degrading each other and hurling insults at each other, there's no positive conclusion that's going to come from that. And now you're starting to degrade each other's character. And when you have 2 people degrading each other's character in a relationship, you can basically kiss it goodbye. Because now you're no longer operating from a basis of trust and respect. And it just devolves into sort of belittling, insults, hurtful language, and it doesn't go anywhere. So the second she starts throwing insults at you, you have to nip that in the bud right away, or in the courting process, in the dating process, vet her basically for someone who's not going to do that. Boundary 3 is respecting each other's time. If she's consistently not showing up on time, if she's consistently 10, 15, 30 minutes late, and if she doesn't adequately repair that when that's happened, that's a sign that she doesn't respect you as a person, because time is a finite resource. Your time, if you respect your time, which is also very important, mate, then your time is a finite resource and your time could be better spent doing something else other than sitting around waiting for somebody. And the very last person that you want to be waiting around for who doesn't respect your time is your partner in life. If she consistently does not show up on time and you're not saying anything about that and you're just accepting it, that's you telling yourself that you don't respect your time, which ultimately on a deeper level means that you don't actually respect yourself, mate. Boundary number 4, no mothering, controlling, or criticism. Now, when I say criticism, what I don't mean is you're not open to feedback from your partner. That's when you start slipping into the whole sort of bullshit 1950s house husband thing. You will just be quiet, woman. That's not what we're shooting for, obviously, because why would you be in a relationship with someone who doesn't have an opinion on anything? It'd be like dating a statue or a mannequin, which some guys might want to do, but I don't know. I hope that you're not one of them. So what we're talking about here is micromanaging or controlling or mothering behavior, where basically they dive in, micromanaging your time, your schedule, they're micromanaging stuff that you would otherwise be able to do on your own. This kind of stuff actually ends up having kind of a disempowering effect on a man, as I'm sure you've experienced this before, and if you haven't, then I hope you never do. But if you're with a woman who's consistently mothering you, what she's actually communicating to you is that she doesn't actually trust you. She doesn't trust your competence. She doesn't trust your capability as a man to be able to deal with things. Now, that may not be what she's trying to do. A lot of women, they were just raised with this sort of idea that their love means that they have to mother, they have to control, or maybe women have had the experience with men where they genuinely were man-children. And maybe the woman in this example had learned that actually I can't really trust men to take care of things on their own. But either way, if she's with you, a strong, confident, capable and assertive man, absolutely no controlling, mothering or criticism whatsoever, especially when you're in public around other people. That is an absolute hard no. Obviously, boundaries in relationships differ, but that's a hard no. I know a lot of guys out there are saying, oh, but wives nag, that's what they do. No, it isn't. It doesn't have to be. Most relationships suck because we put up with stuff like this. Boundary number 5 is no game playing, no guilt tripping or manipulation of any description. So the ideal scenario here is this relationship is built on honesty and transparency. It's built on direct communication and deal with problems. Avoiding tactics like that are super common and really shouldn't be, like gaslighting, which is like kind of undermining your reality and making you feel like what you say and your feelings are actually wrong. Or a common one I come across is stonewalling, where she'll just basically leave you on read, or if you say the wrong thing, she'll just cut you off and not speak to you for a week. That's manipulation, and it's absolutely unacceptable within the context of a relationship. You should not be putting up with that stuff whatsoever. And finally, there's the kind of one where there's like an emotional coercion aspect, where, for example, a lot of nice guys, people pleasers, they crave validation. They deeply crave a woman's validation on a deep existential level. Okay, it's a very deep wound they need to overcome. So in this, there's one specific example where this really screws them up in relationships, and that is in the sexual realm. So what a lot of women do, not all, obviously, please, just not all women, but what women can do in the context of a relationship is dangle the carrot of sex as a manipulation tactic. So it's like if you do the wrong thing, or you're not getting laid tonight. I'm not saying that women should have sex if they don't want to, if they're pissed off, obviously, but I'm saying that this conscious using sex as a way to make the man do something is straight up emotional coercion. It's absolutely unacceptable in the context of a relationship, and a strong, confident and assertive man would not put up with that bullshit whatsoever. And boundary number 6, we have maintaining an independent life outside of the relationship. One thing you ought to be doing in the context of a relationship is having your own friends on this as well, having a social life outside of the relationship, having hobbies, interests and passions outside of the relationship and maintaining those. If you're in a dynamic where your goals, your social life, your hobbies, everything else takes a backseat now, over the course of maybe months or years, now you're no longer the man you used to be, right? You traded your personality that she initially was attracted to. Now you're just kind of this shell of yourself. And this is a suggestion. This suggests here that you have not maintained the boundaries successfully, and you have essentially given yourself to the relationship and become enmeshed. Okay, so one of the strongest boundaries you can have is that if we're in this relationship together, we're in this dynamic, we maintain our independence. We don't become codependent or fully independent, we are interdependent. We want to be with each other, but we're also two strong, capable, different individuals differentiated from each other. And that's a strong boundary, strong assertive man have in relationships. Going from being a people pleaser to a strong, confident, capable, masculine, assertive leader in relationships and life is one of the things I help men do in my 12-week Pleaser to Leader program. Click the link in the description down below if you want to go from being a pleaser to becoming the leader in life and relationships, the kind of leader who effortlessly attracts amazing, high-quality women into his life and effortlessly just inspires the admiration and respect of the people around him. That's what I want for you. And that's how we build it in 12 weeks. And boundaries like this, applying these boundaries to your life, to your specific situation, and me challenging you to do that with accountability is the fastest way to get there. So click the link in the description, check it out, and I'll see you on a free call, which I can offer you there. And I'll see you in the next video, brother. Take care. Stay courageous.